Hey folks, this is Matt once again. Just also wanted to do a couple reviews today. Probably shorter than usual reviews because there's a lot to get through. But for those who watch my channel, you saw that I did a couple episodes of what I've seen lately, or as I call Whistle, WISL, what I've seen lately. And that was thanks to ClassicRocker, who sent me a lot of films for my birthday. And this case here. And some of them I figure I could give like a little bit, at least separate reviews. For example, this film, Firehawk. Now, Firehawk is a film that I thought was an okay time waster. At the end of the day, I just say I liked it. It has its problems, it's not perfect, but I liked it. It's a film that I could have sworn was an 80s film, but it says it was actually released direct to video in 1993. And it's weird, again, it says 1993, but it looks like an 80s film. And it's directed by a guy named Ciro Santiago, who unfortunately is no longer with us. But this guy directed a lot of films from back in the day. Films like TNT Jackson, films Firecracker from 1981, Caged Fury, Final Mission, Eye of the Eagle, Equalizer 2000, I believe that's with Richard Norton. Behind Enemy Lines, that was actually a film from '87, that film with Robert Patrick. Nam Angels, which that's one I've been wanting to see from the 80s with, I think Vernon Wells is in it, and Brad Johnson, and Rick Dean. The original The Expendables, there was a film called The Expendables actually in 1988. Raiders of the Sun. He did a film called Angel Fist. He did a film called Killzone with David Carradine. Guy's done a lot of movies, and again, he's no longer with us, unfortunately. One of his last films was Blood Fist 2050, but I don't think that has anything to do with Don the Dragon Wilson. If it does, he's not listed on IMDb. Oh, out of all 9 films of the Blood Fist franchise, is the only entry not to star Don the Dragon Wilson in the lead role. Wow. Okay. But this film I thought was a decent time waster. The cast, you have in the middle there Martin Kove. He's the bad guy in The Karate Kid. I remember him also from Rambo First Blood Part 2. You have Matt Salinger, who is this guy over here. That's the guy who was Captain America in the 1990 movie. And then this guy here, his name is T.C. Carson, who, in a way, I would say he's really our lead character, meaning he's the guy to root for. He's the guy who definitely the most likable. He's the guy who, which I found that kind of nice, that, okay, he's the black guy, but he's not the token black guy. He is really our lead guy. And this guy, T.C. Carson, I remember him from Final Destination 2, and I'm like, oh, I think that's the guy who tries to kill himself, but the gun doesn't work. He voices Mace Windu in Star Wars The Clone Wars TV series. But, really enough, this guy voiced Kratos, the lead guy in the God of War video games. And I played a lot of the God of War video games. Well, I have God of War 1 and 2 because I have a PS2, so I only have God of War 1 and 2. But that's the star of those God of War games is Kratos, and this guy is the voice. So this guy right here, he's the voice of Kratos in the God of War video games, and I'm like, wow, that was so weird finding that out. And I thought this guy did a good job in this movie. This guy did a really good job. I really liked him. Now, it is a low-budget film, and the film takes place during Vietnam, and this guy, T.C. Carson, he's a medic, part of this chopper rescue team that go in to, help people out. And this guy doesn't really care for the people on the team because Matt Salinger's character, really, at the beginning of the film, you don't like him because he's kind of a racist. He's not racist against this guy, he's racist against, this Asian guy who's part of the team because I guess he used to be part of the Viet Cong, but he sort of defected and stuff like that. Doesn't really like Martin Kove, how he runs things because he says he's too risky and he's too this and that. And one thing leads to another. They're shot down. They're behind enemy lines. And, well, not really shot down. Their plane lands, their helicopter lands, and they find out that something's wrong with the chopper. And they start realizing that someone on their own team did something to malfunction the helicopter, and now they sort of have to get out of there alive. And in the meantime, one of the guys who's back at base who was injured, and this medic guy risked his life, to go save this guy under heavy fire. That's why I like this guy. He's a medic. At first he's like, I don't shoot guns, but he's not a pussy. Because there's one time where Matt Salinger's about ready to get shot. Well, in the previous scene, he's not firing his gun, but that's because everyone else is firing their gun. But in another scene, Matt Salinger has a guy behind him. And a guy picks up a gun and saves his comrade, so he's not a pussy. He's a medic, and I wouldn't say he's all for peace and stuff, but when it gets going, he'll do what he needs to do. And also, there's quite a bit of firefights. Matt Salinger's character is kind of like he wants to be the character that Mr. Baldwin played in Full Metal Jacket, but that guy did a lot better. Adam Baldwin did that a lot better. I mean, I'll get into spoilers just because, I want to, and this is my review. You find out that who is doing all this is Martin Kove. Martin Kove shot this, he blamed it on the Asian guy. And of course, Matt Salinger is part of the team. He believed him because he believes Martin Kove. He's all for Martin Kove. And for some reason, Matt Salinger, they decided to give him, they told him to have, a Texas accent, sort of an over-the-top Southern Texas accent. I think his name's like Tex or something like that. Doesn't work for Matt Salinger. I will say, I didn't mind him after he finds out what's going on, because I think not really the performance, but what the character does. Whether that's enough to make up for it, that's up to you, but you find out that Martin Kove is the one doing this, and he's leading his team. And I thought this was an interesting idea, because he found out, he overheard this codename named Firehawk, which that there's this plane that was landed and it has a nuclear weapon, and Martin Kove is crazed enough that he wants to go there and give up his life to set the bomb and blow the shit out of a big piece of Vietnam, and that way they'll start using nukes here and we'll end the war early, and more of our men won't die. And then of course he finds out later on that it's not really a nuclear weapon. It was all sort of the big military guys set up for the Viet Cong to look at it, and then when they punch the buttons, it blows up, and it blows up like their munitions and stuff that are when they take it back. But Martin Kove doesn't know that yet. I like the moment where Matt Salinger, because Martin Kove thinks Matt Salinger's going to go along with him on this, and he tells him this. I like Matt Salinger's reaction, and then he ultimately does go to T.C. Carson and tells him that. And then Martin Kove tells him, to hang them upside down from the trees, him and this other guy. And I like that Matt Salinger gives him a knife and plays along so that Martin Kove doesn't go apeshit crazy on them. And I'm not going to tell the whole thing. You get some firefights at the end. I mean, Matt Salinger, his southern accent is over the top, and he's not a likable character at the beginning, but I don't know. After that point on, I didn't mind him. Other people may mind him, but I don't mind him as an actor in general. I didn't mind him in the 1990 Captain America movie. I think he's the least of that movie's problems. That's a movie I want to give a look one day, because one day I want to get, because I did see Captain America Winter Soldier, and I really liked it, so one day I want to get all the Captain Americas, was it the Blu-ray of the 1990 movie, the first Avenger, give that another look, but, you know, Matt Salinger, from what I remember a long time ago, he's not the problem of the 1990 movie. It's almost everything else. But I thought T.C. Carson was really good. And spoiler alert, the black guy doesn't die. It's not a downbeat ending. Yeah, I thought it was just a fun time waster. You know, Martin Kove, I'll be honest, I didn't expect him to be the bad guy. I know I should. But I thought because he starred in the film, and it says Martin Kove at the top of there, I thought it was another one of those movies that he tried to be the hero, like another film, Steel Justice. But I can say I like this film more than Steel Justice. I just felt it went along at a decent pace. It's 90-some minutes long. It's low budget, and it's not perfect by a long shot. I mean, but I thought T.C. Carson did a good job. I thought it was decently paced. I thought there were a bunch of firefights, which were, you know, decent to watch. You know, it kept my interest going. I thought the plot was interesting. What you find out, you know, first is a little mystery, which I know I spoiled, but it's a little mystery of who's doing it. You know, who amongst the men did it, and then you find out it's Martin Kove, and the reason that he's doing it. I mean, I just thought it was sort of an interesting. It's not just him apeshit crazy. He has a purpose. Even when he realizes that he fucked up, he, you know, tries to do the right thing and tries to get his men out, and while he, you know, he pretty much sacrifices his life. Oh, you spoiling it? Well, it's a film from 1993. It's not like I really, even after this review, I doubt many people don't check it out. I said spoiler warnings anyway. But the cast in general I thought was decent. Again, I like T.C. Carson. It was, you know, it was a time waster. It was a film that I could see myself watching again, you know, with some popcorn or with some potato chips and some soda. And, you know, for a direct-to-video film from 1993, which again, it says 1993, but it sure as hell seems like an 80s film. I had a decent watch. I didn't mind the idea. I didn't mind the story. I didn't mind the acting. Again, Matt Salinger, I don't think you need him to be too over the top with the Texas accent. You didn't need to give him a Texas accent at all. Again, his character's not the most likable at the beginning of the film. I think that's on purpose. And then when he changes, it's like, well, wait a minute, I want to... you know, so I think I can see some people still not giving a shit about him in the third act. Me, I didn't mind it. And overall, I just thought it was a decent time waster. This is pretty much just letting people know that this film exists, and I just thought it was pretty decent. And have I seen better movies about Vietnam? Hell yeah. Missing in Action 1 and 2 and 3, and the Rambo films, and Full Metal Jacket, Hamburger Hill, Casualties of War, Uncommon Valor, I mean, tons of others. But for a film I had never heard of before, I thought it was pretty decent. But anyway, that's just my, considering I usually go 30-40 minutes, my short review of Firehawk from 1993. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for another video. Later.